Hello and welcome to another devlog. In the last video, I said I made my first game in 1985. Well, I got that wrong. I actually made my first game in 1984, and that was Chilly Willy, a game that was inspired by the arcade classic Pengo. Now, I used to play Pengo in the arcades, actually at the local tuck shop, which was like a corner store. I loved it so much that I wanted to play it at home. So what I did was, during the Christmas holidays, I programmed my own version in BASIC on the microbit computer. And that was the first game that I sent down to Honeysoft, a local publisher in Australia, that ended up accepting the game and published it on cassette tape. So 1985 was the actual year that I made the first Halloween Harry game. Now, that was the year that Ghostbusters came out. And I was inspired by the movie, even though I hadn't seen it yet, but I knew it was all about, ghost busting and chasing ghosts and that sort of stuff. But I thought that'd be great to make a game about. So that was the impetus for me making my first original game. And in that first Harry game, Harry was a ghost hunter. And he was armed with a garlic blaster to kill the ghosts and zombies. Another thing I wanted to say is that last video, you probably heard snoring sound. That was actually from my dog Bentley. He is here right now and he's probably snoring again. I did try giving him a treat, a bone, but he completely demolished that within minutes and came back into my office. So sorry about the snoring. Something I wasn't really clear about in the last video was what we're building Halloween Harry in. I mentioned that we were using Unity at one point, but what we did was we prototyped in Unity, then switched over to Godot. Now the reason for that has nothing to do with Unity or how it works. It's just that I had friends of mine who recommended Godot to me and said I should check it out. Now I've been making games in Swift and SpriteKit for Apple products and for Apple Watches. Both Pete and I make these little watch games, which are a lot of fun to make. And I really love the node scene tree structure that SpriteKit has. And when I tried Godot, it was like the same sort of structure. So my brain just clicked with it and I loved it. At that point I said, look, we got to make the game in Godot. And it turns out to be a great choice because Godot is really just going ahead leaps and bounds with their 3D. And of course, being open source is a bonus as well. This week, I'd like to talk a bit about Halloween Harry, what we've been working on and what's coming up. Now, initially, the game started out as sort of inspired by Vampire Survivors because I wanted to make a fairly simple game. So the idea of a flat arena and lots of zombies and monsters attacking Harry made perfect sense. But as we started prototyping this, it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel true to Harry. So what we've done is we built a basically prototype level where we tried out everything. We saw, how many structures and props could we add to that level, how many monsters could we have on screen at one time. And this test bed was really great to work out the sort of shape and feel of the game. And over time, we started to lean back into what Harry was. So rather than just having an open flat arena with monsters, we started to go back to the original Harry design of design levels. So we added in walls and doors, rooms that you had to go into to rescue hostages, rooms full of monsters, switches to open and close those rooms, and even platforms to navigate, to climb over places or get across areas. The first iteration of this new Harry didn't have a jetpack and didn't have the flamethrower. Again, this is sort of with the idea of it being a simple game and inspired by Vampire Survivors. But once we got rid of that idea and thought, let's go back to the basics, Pete was really adamant we put the jetpack back in. I was resistant to this because I thought that's going to add a level of complexity. If we can keep it flat, it'll be simpler to do. But I was wrong, and with the jetpack, it just opened the game up. Suddenly we had vertical levels. Again, being true to the original game, being able to fly up high, having a sense of height and danger. It was really exciting. And the flamethrower, that was really fun. We worked out how to integrate that with the other weapons. The idea that it's more of a melee type approach. You walk and use a flamethrower and take out enemies, but it's limited. Now that we have the foundation in place, we're going to start building out the game. The way we work is we grey box out the levels, which is basically using primitive 3D shapes to get the shape and feel of the level in place. We do this so we can make sure that it's fun to run around. We don't have areas where the player can jump over walls when they're not supposed to. So Pete takes this grey box and creates a collision mesh and a beauty mesh. And what happens then is once they're built, we re-input those back into the game and do another pass. This pass, we basically play it, make sure it feels good, work out or inspired by stuff Pete's built, so we can work out little areas we put more monsters or more pickups, and hopefully, just make the game generally better. The drone is new to Halloween Harry. We're inspired by Mad Max and his dog. We want to have that feeling that this is like a catalogue that's by Harry's side all the time. You can use it to sick on enemies and take them out, You can tell the drone to pick up things and carry them for you. You can get it to target parts of the level and blow them up. So it's quite new and I think it's pretty innovative for Halo and Harry. Anyway, that's it for this week. Please do like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I hope you can join us for the journey as we build this game out. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye.